What key life experiences have formed who you are today?
Some of my big experiences have been living or growing up in the Midwest in a small town, and then kind of transitioning from that life to living in larger cities and going to school in Lawrence, Kansas, which isn't big compared to Phoenix, but compared to where I grew up, it was. And then ultimately moving to a completely new place in Arizona taught me a lot about myself and who I am.
How did you become passionate and involved in architecture?
Actually, it was when I came to visit my grandfather, who was an architect in Phoenix in the 60s and 70s. I came down in 5th grade, I believe, and was playing with some of his models. And at the time, he was doing residential architecture, and that's what I thought all architecture was. And then as I started taking more courses on it in high school and college, I realized the opportunities that it had, and really fell in love with the career and profession.
What are your core values and how are they reflected in your practice?
I think that one of the most compelling things about architecture is how it influences people and how people engage with space. And so my passion has really become interior architecture, and that's because it's much more hands-on and gives people opportunities to come together and interact in a space.
Can you tell us about your design process, including design thinking, visualization, and realization?
The first thing I always try to do is think about what the problem or the challenge is for each project and how that relates to the solutions that we come up with. I think that part of the process is important to listen to the clients and the owners, but also the teammates and what other ideas that people may have. So then there can be one comprehensive solution.
How do you collaborate with other individuals to realize your impactful work?
I personally like to kind of step back at the beginning and again, let others show their ideas and thoughts, and then kind of try to round everybody up together. That's one of the things that I really enjoy, because I never really want a building or a project that I'm working on specifically to be one voice. I think it's important to have everybody's voices heard.
How has Peter Zumpler's architectural ideas and buildings impacted your practice?
I've always been really drawn to the visual simplicity of his work, and I think that speaks to the thought that he puts in everything that he does. You can see down to the detailing some of the thoughts and ideas that were put in, both in terms of materiality as well as spatially.
The biggest challenges you face?
Really taking a step back at the beginning and not trying to force an idea or a personal desire to inform the design. I always think it's important for data and again, that challenge or that end goal to influence what the design should become.
What advice would you give to a young student?
Absorb everything they can and never get too stuck in one thought or idea. Explore every idea that they may have, continuing to challenge themselves and learn everything they can, and eventually they'll figure out what they're most passionate about in terms of architecture, design, or even outside of the career. And I think it'll enrich them to become a better professional as well as a designer.